Peace, 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 family. How you all doing? My name is Keisha. I am the owner of Ascendant Astrology, and I am your astrology coach. Today, I'm going to be doing my interpretation of Venus and Scorpio. I was hoping to get both Scorpio and Libra's videos out today, but the kids had off, and y'all already know how that goes. So there's that. But let's see. All right. So I'll just put the Libra one up tomorrow. But Venus in Scorpio. What is Venus? Venus is the ruler of Taurus and Libra. It's the ruler of the second house and the seventh house. It rules over love, money, beauty, creativity, relationships, all relationships, contracts, agreements, mentorship, um, any kind of law stuff here. But it also rules the type of people that you will attract or that you'll be attracted to. It's different for men and women. And Venus is in detriment in Scorpio. She's not happy here. Actually, at the time that I'm making this video, um, which is November 11th, 2022, Venus is in Scorpio. We are currently having a Venus in Scorpio transit. And so if you are somebody who has Venus in Scorpio, this video is for you. And when you're transiting Venus and Scorpio, is up. This is a time for reflection, doing some deep internal work, and thinking back from the past year and your goals around Venusian themes and what you have accomplished, what you want to accomplish, and kind of taking note of that. And the things that you didn't accomplish, why? Why didn't you accomplish them? In this way, it's kind of like you are taking account or accountability for how your life turns out and how to get better as these things come up in your life. And how are you going to do that moving forward? What are you going to change? What do you have to change um, to reach your goals in this thing called life? Um, So Venus is in detriment here. Now, most people say they don't like Venus in Scorpio because whenever there's a planet uh in detriment, you're more than likely to experience the lower vibrations of this sign. Just point blank period. It's unfortunate, but that's your lesson. That's what you're meant to play out in this lifetime, learn in this lifetime. Maybe you have a karmic debt that you owe from past lifetime, especially coming up in Scorpio. This could definitely be some past life stuff coming up here. But essentially, it's not to say that you can't get out of it, but you're going to have to do a lot of work to do so. And which doesn't include, by the way, doing what Scorpio loves to do, which is we'll talk about here, which is to stay internal, hide away from others to kind of hold your power. Um, mm, yeah, okay. And your lessons might be more intense and more transformative with the Venus and Scorpio, just because Scorpio in general is about intense, um, and it rules transformation. So, Scorpio is ruled by the planet Pluto and co-ruler, actually, let me say that correctly. Scorpio is ruled by Mars, co-ruler is Pluto. And that's important to note, which is why I wanted to do Venus and Scorpio now, because I already did Venus and Mars. You definitely want to listen to that video too, because this is going to play out for you in some way, shape, or form as well. Um, so Scorpio is very transformational. It rules intimacy, sex, other people's money, your partner's money specifically. Um, Scorpio is about digging deep for things, searching for truth and secrets. These people can be very loyal by a fault, which is why they tend to go inward and kind of hide away from others, which is really unfortunate because the reasons why I genuinely like the Venus and Scorpio, because they really understand what it is to be intimate with somebody and not physical sex. And so me being a Venus and Mars and a Venus and Aries, which is ruled by Mars person, I know today now that's what my lesson is. That's what I have to learn, is to not be so physical. How can we be balance some of the physical with some intimacy? And this is when you start to do the deep research around secrets around Tantra, um, and dominatrix is a very interesting field. You'd be remiss not to do your research, but um, I think what we know it as is the dominatrix, where somebody just wants to have power and control over you. And for that sake of in the matter, this is very true. You are most definitely somebody who has power and control, and you love having power and control. But there's another side of that that I don't think a lot of people understand to its depth, which is the intimacy piece and what that means to, um, I don't even think domination is the right word to use, but it's about giving and receiving something, feelings. It could be different things without having to have physical sex. And so, in a sense, it's like knowing what you want and being able to ask for it and having somebody who's going to give that back to you, which is again why these people are so in a shell or tend to hide themselves away from people because they've been hurt a lot. They've probably been manipulated a lot, because they are so loyal. You know, they are that person like that would, I'm not going to say do whatever somebody wants, but they understand the dynamics of what it means to be in a partnership. But they also want that reciprocated. Um, you don't do surface level relationships, materialistic relationships out of the question. These people they want your soul. I feel like that sounds so bad, but they want that deep soul connection, which again just goes back to this is somebody who wants to look you in your eyes. They want all the information up front. They are going to dig, probe and prod you, and it's like an interrogation, right? Because Scorpio also rules like being a detective, um and being able to have the focus to ask people the important questions to get to the truth so that you know that you're going to get what you want out of a relationship. I think that's something else that we just don't do in relationships. And it's not so much about anything other than we're not taught, right? Because Scorpio also rules like your psychological conditioning and the things that you learn from childhood trauma. And I always think about this as um, not just to, I mean, I wish everybody would watch this video because this is so much bigger than just somebody with a Venus and Scorpio, because we really have these challenges in our day-to-day relationships now, which is why we have such a hard time relating to one another because we don't know how to. But in saying that, there are a certain set of skills that Scorpio has naturally that allows them to be able to connect with somebody on a soul level like that. They want to explore every single part of your body, inside and out. Um, and so when you initially meet a Scorpio person, they might come off as super secretive, um, but they just want to learn about you, and help you transform. This is also the sign of psychology, um, and all the parapsychologies like numerology, astrology. Um, I mean, any of those practices, there's so many divinations out there, but this is where you get those. And so, in a sense, um, these are the people who are patient enough to, do what counselors do, which is to sit down and probe, allow people to be who they are, allow the answers to come out naturally, um, and really get to know somebody, right? And in that sense, like just when you sit down with a counselor, you become a different person. You start to learn things about yourself that maybe you would have never taken the time out to do outside of any other situation. But Scorpio people are really good at, you're either, as a Scorpio person, you're either being drawn in by somebody or you're drawing somebody into you. It's very energetic connection here. Um, you might test people a lot. This is kind of like the low vibrations, just to see if some of the things that they say are true. That's a problem. Okay, like I said, we're getting into the lower expressions of this energy, which is not, it's not good, because you might do that to the wrong person and you can end up burning a lot of bridges here. This is why Scorpio also rules secrets, not deception, sex scandals, and things around money too, for sure, like infidelity and the reasons that I want to say passion crimes or crime passions, whatever. That people are getting killed for insurance because Scorpio also rules like debt, taxes, and insurance, right? Any kind of government money or other people's resources, right? And so this is why we see a lot of people like being murdered for the money that they have. These are definitely, things that could happen with a Venus Scorpio person. Um, yeah. You need sex to connect, like Pisces. I feel like Mars and Pisces, Venuses are the same way. They actually do need sex to connect, even though a lot of people will try to use that as a way to get sex. But yeah, no. Um, you are very attracted to power. You love power. And so a lot of the times, again, on the lower expression of a Venus Scorpio person, in order to hold power, they'll hold out on telling you things, on sharing their emotions, ghosting you, keeping you kind of like at arm's length, um, and not really telling people how you feel, which could again cause people to leave you if you do it for to the wrong person. You're burning bridges now. There's trust issues. You've now made your trust issues come to fruition. You have to be careful with this energy, I'm telling you, because this energy really does manifest in reality in real time. And so you have to do the healing work on yourself if you know that you're somebody who does these types of things, even if you feel like you're doing them innocently. Like, I feel like this is so much bigger than just Venus and Scorpio. I'm so passionate about this topic. as a Libra rising, we're all about connections, right? And so when you start withholding your energy and you're doing it spitefully, and maybe even um you don't even realize it because you've been doing it so much that um you are literally, you have to remember Scorpio is the underworld. This is about the archetypal energy of the underworld is that you repeat a lesson over and over and over again until you learn what that lesson is. Right. And think about this is why this energy is so intense because it's like, what am I doing wrong? Especially when you live in a world that's built off of keeping you in the dark, keeping you from your true self, from your true secrets. You have to be very careful with doing that because now not only are you building up your own karma, but then you also have the karma from the outside world that you have to fight against, and you have to be strong enough to do so. And if you're not healed and you're not doing the healing work, it is so easy for you to get caught up in a cycle that keeps you in detriment. Okay, this is very, very important. Um, because you are manifesting your own reality, even though we're not taught that, and a lot of people are really disconnected from that idea. When you do that, you are manifesting your own reality. But these people are natural healers, though they have that ability to do that, even if they are somebody who's in detriment. But you have to get to a point where you can see that, where you know that. Another way you might hold power over others is to keep secrets and be super private, but I think, those kind of the same thing. Um, but yes, so you're literally losing out in opportunities. This even goes to the idea. So most people who have been listening to me for a while know that um I'm so passionate about this topic. I can feel myself getting excited. Um, uh, you're poor, right? And poor is one of those acronyms, right? So passing over opportunities repeatedly. Poor, Poor. Remember that because not only does this start to affect your relationships, but your mindset and your money, because this is a money house. And so, how you build wealth has a lot to do with how open you are and how strong you can be in situations where, like, for example, say you are in a relationship with somebody who you know is not right for you. Instead of holding back, you put boundaries up, right? There are tools. That's what counseling and astrology and all the divinations are for. It does not have anything to do with ghosting people, leaving people out, and in that way, with any malicious, lower vibrational intent. It's about or even protecting yourself, sending love out to somebody. You can have your protective barriers by having boundaries, but those boundaries don't have to be of malicious intent. I hope that I'm making sense because I feel like the world literally right now is based off of this lower vibration of Scorpio energy on such a massive scale that to the point that we're not in relationships. We're not relating to one another. And in fact, I don't even think a lot of us really know how. And not that we don't know how, like we're ignorant or anything in that manner, um, but because we're not healing, we don't know our real spiritual practices, who we are, our history, where we come from, and how to use those in real life situations, in a healthy way. You're going to get hurt in life, just point blank, period. Nobody's perfect, and nobody can be the way that you are, but you have to have your parameters up, right? Because we all have lessons to learn from one another and things that we need to be taught from one another, right? And so when you close that door, you shut down that opportunity to grow and evolve in that way. Where I think a high vibrational Scorpio, even Pisces people are so good at this. Like they are dope people when it comes to like, they just know how to handle people who are toxic. I'm just gonna put it out there and say it because that's what it is. Um, and so you could struggle with being vulnerable, but that's a goal as well for Venus and Scorpio people, is to learn how to be vulnerable but still be safe, right? There is healthy ways that you can do that. I gotta keep stressing. Um, and it could lead to you being afraid of taking opportunities because you've been taken advantage of and manipulated in so many different cases. Um, you can read people very well. Um, I, s- this one's really hard for me. Uh, I shouldn't say that. I do know that Venus and Scorpio people can be possessive. I do. Um, I've just never really seen it. And I have a lot of Scorpio friends. So, but I also have really good boundaries too. I don't want to make it seem like I'm perfect because that's not real. But I've definitely been doing this long enough. I've had many years of counseling, so I know it when I see it. I can laugh it off. It doesn't bother me that way. So I guess that's why I'm having a hard time with saying that. But it's true. Some Venus and Scorpio people can become very possessive. Um, and you kind of become property, or they might feel like they own you as if you are property, which is why I mentioned prostitution and the Venus and Aries video, because Mars being the ancient ruler of Scorpio has a lot to do with prostitution, sex scandals, the sex, how do you say it? Um, the sex chain thingy and all those underground things that are going on. And it could make you become very vengeful if you don't get your way, or if people, um, you know, try to manipulate you and don't give an equal give and take. You can become very vengeful, jealous people, and again, that leads back to the passion crimes. Um, yeah, but I mean, overall, that's pretty much my interpretation of Venus and Scorpio. I really do love Scorpio energy in general. I really think y'all are some dope ass people. And I do a lot of research about this stuff, so I know a lot more than I'm putting out there, but everybody's gonna be in different places with this. So I hope you enjoyed my interpretation of Venus and Scorpio. I love and appreciate every single one of y'all. Peace.